Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the inaugural session of the Earth and Environmental Sciences International Conference 2021, hosted by the University of Zululand in South Africa and Shanghai University in China. Conference delegates are presently located in 5 different time zones. This conference is a celebration of man's genius and determination to overcome any challenge, man-made or natural. It is a celebration of the future, of doing things differently and more effectively.
It is my great honor and pleasure to invite you to be part of a continuation of celebrating the University of Zululand's 60th anniversary. Our efforts last year were thwarted by the onset of COVID-19 pandemic. We felt then, as we do now, that there is no better way of reflecting on the path we have traveled since the establishment of the university than through hosting a series of intellectual and scholastic engagements. It is in that spirit that we are pleased that you have graced the Earth and Environmental Sciences International Webinar Conference with your presence. The research for truth, the search for unraveling of the nature's mysteries, and most important, the search for knowledge to improve our lives. This gathering is a testament of our commitment to the use of science to resolve the problems of common humanity. This assembly is an expression of human spirit at its best. It is the spirit that combines our sense of morality, our obligation to the sustenance of this planet we call our home, through our various scientific endeavors. Indeed, we must guard against the notion of science for itself. We live in perilous times where our very existence is under threat from the forces of the nature and man-made disasters. As we deliberate on humanity's challenges, we must cast our eyes into the future, making sure that we are not only able to anticipate future catastrophes, but most importantly, take measures necessary to prevent them.
Before COVID-19, your esteemed participants and guests, we experienced an era of major development, as well as profound transformation and change. We experienced economic globalization. We experienced multilateralism, where it was on the rise, despite some unilateralism that was advanced by the US and some countries in the West. We experienced a quantum leap in advances in science, in technologies, as we've seen through the 4th Industrial Revolution. We're experiencing unparalleled scientific industrial revolution that was propelling human advancement. Delegates and participants, we must appreciate that we have one planet Earth as our only home. We are interconnected and interdependent. Your session today, which is the inaugural session and beyond, should seek to contribute to find sustainable solution to climate change that has caused so much devastating effect. We've experienced drought in some parts of our own continent. We've experienced floods. There are many things that we're experiencing. We need to explore new possibilities and pathways to governance models so that we can achieve our sustainable development goals as agreed by the United Nations, including our own issues of the United Nations Paris Agreement. Many countries are experiencing water scarcity. There is also air pollution, and it has caused tensions and conflicts among neighboring states where water courses are shared. The well-being of humanity through ages has always been dependent on secure sources of water. Conversely, in the absence, it can cause the demise of often well-established societies. Similarly, where different societies depend on water from a common source, this will result in competition during times of scarcity, and it can cause untold conflicts. We are very fortunate that in the region of SADC, which is the Southern African Development Communities, we actually share 4 main rivers, and there's been a very good cooperation amongst ourselves. And these matters are being handled, and they are handled very well through those international cooperation. I will not talk about the issues around fossil fuels, the issues of power generation that have actually caused a lot of problems in terms of the ozone layer, and the issues of rising temperatures that has also caused some problems in terms of rising seas, having some cyclones, as we've been experiencing recently in SADC, especially coming through Mozambique, the cyclone Eloise. Let us, through your skills and expertise, shape the world to become a better place for many generations to come. I want to wish you well on behalf of His Excellency, President Ramaphosa, and the people of South Africa, well for your inaugural session. God bless Africa, her sons and daughters. I thank you. Asante Sana.
The significant environmental changes that we are facing may have vital influences on our living and development. Addressing with the water contamination, water shortage, climate change, landslides, earthquakes, air pollution, and many other geological and environmental problems is critical to maintain our high living standards. This problem cannot be solved without international collaboration. This webinar gives us a valuable opportunity to establish and accelerate our collaboration. We may not know each other before this webinar, but I believe we can be very good friends after it. So let's join hands together and make our Earth better. Finally, I wish the conference a success and hope that every participant can find future partners through our conference. I wish all of you good health and every success in your future life. May the world's COVID-19 pandemic end soon. Thank you.
Most part of the world, including South Africa, is struggling to recover from this tragic risk and impact. South Africa has a huge land mass, and most of it goes underused due to the geographic presentation where water resources are unevenly distributed. Food and energy production also depends on water. However, the unpredictable climate change pattern in South Africa as a result of climate change has created drought in parts of the nation, while our neighboring countries are experiencing severe floods. We are in high demand to find the scientific solution along with the policies and management of our government, and we the scientists, researchers and environmentalists has still not lost our hopes. We all gathered here to change lives and bring a transformation in our environment. We first look into these issues, investigate it, address it, find a solution from which we share our knowledge and experiences, inspiring the researchers.
India is not very well managing the groundwater resources. So there are a lot of similarities to work together and a lot of scope to work together. Realizing this a couple of years back, I think in 2019, the president of South Africa visited India. They had signed a lot of bilateral agreements. So there are a lot of similarities, not only in terms of water shortage, but also in those days. In fact, India and South Africa were together, right? As a geologist, I would like to say Once upon a time, these two continents were together, so there is a lot of similarity even in the rock types on the west coast of India as well as the east coast of South Africa. Many researchers have also attempted to bifurcate the major causes that are human induced, the other part is the natural causes, right? Any geologist will agree that we had already witnessed ice age and we have also seen desertification during the geological past. So these are due to natural phenomena, but apart from that, there are also other anthropogenic causes. So here is a study, very interesting study, in which the authors have tried to bifurcate the impact of climate change into natural as well as anthropogenic effects. As you can see here, right, the red lines that is passing over here, right, the red lines indicate the rise in the atmospheric temperature caused by the rise in caused due to the anthropogenic effects. That is this. And whereas the natural causes are also indicated by this. So the major relation of this with the groundwater resources is the expected change in the rainfall pattern over the groundwater depends on the only source, the most important source for groundwater is the rainfall. Adding to the problem of atmospheric rise in atmospheric temperature, we are also witnessing sea level rise due to melting of ice, right? Especially in the regions where you have groundwater in the coastal parts of the world, where the sea level is rising, the changes in the recharge pattern. For example, as the rainfall changes, the recharge that is going to take place over the region is going to get reduced. In contrary to that, we are also increasing the quantum of conflict. Climate change in general depletes groundwater storage in many regions. Adaptation is the way forward. So that is possible by increasing recharge, as I showed you in this case study. However, maintenance of this recharge structure is a major challenge.
And we do research here in order to understand extreme situation for life, coming from chemistry and physics particularly in a better way. To see here our research vessel going by rubber boat usually to different bend sites. There are 53 around this island of Waishantao. Particular experiments are run at the site A. This is the white water, white bench emitting particular carbon dioxide, but also hydrogen sulfide and many other toxic gases. You see here the gas bubbling up to the surface. So we use this hydrothermal vents as natural laboratories where we can study natural pollution, something like volcanic activity or also sediments, which are emitted to coastal waters from rivers, for instance, and also anthropogenic pollution, so man-made issues which are adding chemicals and also physical effects to the atmosphere, such as carbon dioxide is a major cause for the greenhouse situation of global climate change, but also leading to acidification, the main acidifier of ocean water, surface waters, coastal waters, and also fresh waters. I showed this slide in the morning already. We also have problems with safety of water and biological contamination through biotoxins and pathogens, and seafood, particularly from ocean sources, as well as from freshwater aquaculture, providing foodborne food safety issues and problems that we are going to solve, or that we are studying in our Center for Environmental Medical Research at Kaohsiung Medical University. We take particular focus on the water section, of course, as water chemists and water biologists. And we use the hydrothermal vents, as mentioned, as natural laboratories. And particularly, it's very complicated and differentiated chemistry, the emission of chemicals and water dissolved compounds which are affecting this system which is by and large you can call toxic to most life forms. That's why we have just microbes and very few metazoan animals around that area. So we're particularly concerned with certain chemical issues of seawater, for instance, of the metal compounds, not only heavy metal, but many different trace metals, for instance, magnesium and lithium, cadmium, barium, tellur, lead, iron, copper, arsen, which are fluctuating in between years, even just recent years from 2009 to 2007. All this can provide a sustainable way of gaining knowledge for the better management of different environments, different habitats of organisms, such as hydrothermal vents. With that also, it leads to a better possibility of conservation of such extreme environments, extremely rare environments in shallow waters, at least worldwide, which provide something like a natural value for countries like Taiwan. And with the development of new technologies, for instance, in nanotechnology, in the nanotechnological detection of trace metals, environmental protection can be enhanced and patents can be developed, which are of economic use, of course, and the social aspects of this research is also important because it increases the quality of life, it has educational aspect, and develops communities, equal opportunities, and is important for law and ethics. So we have a way of sustainable research and development, and here in the perspective of future ocean governance.
On behalf of the organizing institution and the organizing committee, I have the honor to provide a vote of thanks to all the stakeholders that have contributed in making of this Earth and Environmental Science International Webinar Conference 2021, which is jointly hosted by the University of Zululand and Chang'an University in China.